Hey everyone, today's episode is brought to you by Hot Wheels, which you might remember Billy joked about, the live show last year. Yes, he reckoned they were in talks to create a Billy and Nick dream house. Sadly, that actually hasn't happened yet.
Not yet.
Yep, but something just as cool is a chance to partner with a brand that is all about helping kids build confidence and resilience. Hot Wheels is all about giving kids the confidence to take on challenges like launching a car through a loop, crashing into the couch, rebuilding the track and giving it another go. Hot Wheels is not just fun, it's about learning through action. Try, fail, repeat, grow. That's what play should be all around, right, Billy? And that's why we're really proud to have them support the pod.
All right, I've got it. Maybe instead of a dream house, it's time for the Nick and Billy Ultimate Garage.
Mate, I'm thinking of something even better. Maybe our own PCP Hot Wheels set.
Yes, in our theme colours. And just like this sponsorship, all of those funds will go towards Guiding Growing Minds, supporting kids in the community.
Brilliant, Billy. Hey, let's make it happen. All right, go grab your Hot Wheels cars, clear some space on the floor and settle in. This episode is going to be a good one. Billy, that was episode 119. It's our play reflection episode. What are people going to learn this week?
I thought it was great. Like, there was some really humorous moments. Hopefully some practical stuff. We did some role plays. We went deep into like how play can be used for younger kids, for teens, some of the barriers we have as parents ourselves, where the evidence sits in therapy in schools. Yeah, really, really cool. Hopefully I found it helpful. And it's been a really helpful topic for me personally. It's been
one of the most applicable, practical topics I feel like we've done in a while. Like you can just go do it, like one of those ones really quick if you've got kids. Unless, you know, if you're a teacher, you can apply it quickly at school and you gave some great examples of what they can do in the playground. One quick shout out, and we haven't done this for a while, but it'd be really great if you could like, follow, share and actually leave a review of the podcast. I think we've asked in over a year.
Yeah, good ones.
No, just do it now before you even listen to it. I'm telling you, it's really good. No, but it'd be great if you could do that. And also, Billy's available for some talks. The calendar's opened up.
GM's opened up for next year.
Yeah, so the Guiding Growing Minds, which is what Billy's running the social enterprise, you can go to the website. Billy's got some available dates for his calendar to be doing some talks or connecting with schools or communities or footy clubs, whatever you got. Billy can make it along. So head over there to Guiding Growing Minds. We hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks, Billy.
Hi, I'm Billy, a developmental paediatrician.
And I'm Nick, a developing parent.
We're going to use scenes from iconic movies to talk about how we best support our kids.
This is Pop Culture Parenting.
Hey, don't let your mother smell that beer on your breath. She'll take it out on me.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life. And I don't want to see anybody else either.
Who is it, Daddy? And what does it do?
Just use your best judgment. We trust you.
Good morning, Dr. Billy Garvey. How are you?
I'm good, Dr. Nick. How are you?
I am doing really well. Actually, it's a bit of a lie. I just came up saying I had a horrible night's sleep, but here I am.
Yeah, I tried to pep us up with some Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, didn't.
Should we do a couple of bars?
Nope. Really actually enjoyed the song. Maybe a little bit less. No, you did your best this morning.
I love that one.
No, it's a really good song.
Yeah, I woke up this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Was the sea storming inside of you?
Anyway, we're here for episode 119.
Yes, we are. The play reflection, how to play reflection.
Yep.
So, yeah, really wonderful. It sounds like people found that one helpful. So,
I really liked it myself personally.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Same. It actually helped me shift gears a bit and prioritise some different stuff. So yeah, thank you to everyone who sent in that they liked it. That's
Could I tell you what I liked?
What'd you like?
Observe and hypothesize.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah.
Which, if for anyone that missed the first episode, can I do it?
Yeah, go.
All right. If I got it right, I'll tell me I got it right.
Yeah.
So if your kids are playing creatively, you observe what they're doing and you then ask questions. So if they're like back to the great one around Hot Wheels, using a Hot Wheels car, you're kind of watching them putting a ramp together and you go, oh, you're building a ramp to see how far you can shoot that car? Mm. And they go, yeah. And you go, oh, how far do you reckon it's going to go? And then you start sort of doing that. You go, oh, then you can do the whole, oh, do you reckon it can handle 2 cars? Yeah. And then you go, oh, I can't get my car to work. Mm. How do I get my car to work a bit better? And then they
Beautiful.
jump in. I did it, mate.
Oh, my car's scared.
Yeah, my car's scared. That's the one. Yeah, you teach more about the emotional stuff. Yes. So yeah. Oh, my car's a bit scared. How would we convince him to take the dive?
Yeah, my car's getting angry because it wants to always go first.
My car's getting angry because no one's listening. Really running red hot. Sorry, this isn't about the cars, this is Dad.
But yeah, and then, you know, the simple stuff of like, if they go, no, I'm not doing that, I'm doing something else, go with it. Follow the kid. Don't be like, no, it'd be better if you did this. Or
That's right.
yeah.
And
So,
don't solve the
great.
problems. Anyway, did that a little bit.
And then you know what I've been working on, which won't come up in these, so we can talk about it here, is where I get so focused that I'm like, no, we're doing this with the magnet tiles, or you know what I mean? No, the animals that belong in the sea need to be in the aquarium bit.
Does Evie go, okay, where do you want to go to next,
She just
Dad?
peels off. And then it's I notice that I'm sitting there playing on my own.
It's like that volcano scene from The Simpsons. don't touch it. Go over there. Further, over there. the signs.
Yeah. So it's beautiful, mate. I think it's a thing that's like, we'll talk about it because it comes up in the shorts and the longs. But yeah, there's some really helpful stuff coming about reflections and questions and tips and stuff. A couple of things quickly. I need to realize that we get a lot of new people listening, and we need to realize that people should go back and listen to the back catalogue, because once people realize that, they seem to do it. And thank you to everyone who is supporting the podcast, because we're doing a really cool thing you don't know about, actually, that, you know, the parenting workshop we're doing in Sydney, which there's still a few tickets left if anyone's interested. It's going to be really awesome. Berry Street Education Model are running a competition that'll start just before this episode comes out.
Tell me what Berry Street is.
Sorry, Berry Street, amazing Tom Brunzell and his team, probably one of the best school programs nationally, if not the best, just at trauma-informed practice in education. They're really phenomenal. And they are sponsoring, with Guiding Growing Minds, two free double passes, I think, for parents to come to the parenting workshop, which is amazing. Yeah, we're like, they're the ones that are doing it, Guiding Growing Minds.
How do you get in that?
Course. So if you go over to, I think it's the Guiding Growing Minds Instagram page, there'll be information about it. And also just check out Berry Street Education Model. They didn't ask for that plug. They didn't want me to promote it. They were just like, we want to support what you guys are doing. So that team is just amazing. So we're going to look at doing more with them in the future.
Brilliant.
But yeah, so massive thank you. We probably just need to say this more. People on Patreon, sponsors that come in and sponsor the pod, the people that I've been doing some talks, the people that ask me to come and do talks, the people that attend those talks, like everyone who's doing that, sharing the pod, following on socials, like leaving reviews, you're just doing an amazing thing for us, because all of this goes back into the initiatives that we build out in the community. So it's a privilege for you and I to be a part of it. I hope I'm speaking for you there.
Yes.
But and so I just wanted to say a massive shout out, because I realised I haven't said that for a while.
Yeah, okay. Awesome.
And cool. So now do you want to go polls?
Yeah, polls first.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, we're going to do polls, reflections, shorts, longs, and tips.
And if you want to participate in the polls, follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
At Pop Culture Parenting at Instagram. And we run polls prior to this episode and we get your feedback. Billy, we asked people, did your parents prioritise play when you were growing up? 70% said no.
What did you put?
I did put no. That's not a knock. It's just...
Totally, yeah. It's not. It's just a reflection.
Yeah, just my reflection, yeah. But I was really good at imaginative play in the backyard.
Yeah, as in when you were a
By
kid.
myself,
Because you're also good at it now. But I meant with your kids, not just...
I'm out there with a bow and arrow and a cap gun by myself.
Yeah. It's so funny, though, because I was thinking about it. I did a lot of play on my own. And I used to I spent hours, I don't know if you did this, I spent hours with the army figures.
Hours.
And setting them all up.
I would set up battle stations outside, like forts. But myself. I loved that, mate.
Yeah, hours.
Yeah.
It's just so funny that sometimes we're like, oh no, you need to be playing with other kids.
No, I know. That's changed this past month for me, actually.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, amazing.
You're looking at me
There's the
smiling,
Tina
I'm
one as
serious.
well. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the Tina one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a ripper. Hey, Billy. Then we asked people, do you find it hard to play with your children? 67% of people said yes.
It's funny, that matches international data as well.
But it matches closely to, did our parents prioritise the play? Not saying those people are saying they didn't prioritise the play, but it's like, they find it hard. Maybe our parents found it hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do you think that is?
Playing? Oh, for those reasons that prior to last week's great knowledge shared by you that I didn't appreciate, where you just need to let the play go where it's going to go with the kids and just kind of do. Because sometimes you're like, no, just do it this way, mate. Like, this is a much easier way, which is what I always default to.
Yeah.
When I watch them do stuff that's like either antisocial, I'm like, no one's going to want to play this, or silly things like that. When I should just let my kids just bloody do it.
Yeah.
Like, this just doesn't make sense why I get so agitated. They're just trying to play.
Yeah, well, it comes up, so we'll unpack it.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Billy, do you prioritise time for yourself to unwind and have fun? 71% of people said no.
What did you say?
I think I said yes. Yeah, I try to think. I'd like to think I do. Maybe I don't.
What do you do?
For play, actually, I don't. Yeah, I didn't say yes. I kind of wanted to think I did. Like, training's fun. It's play. There's a play element to my training. But no, not really fun. I don't really go out much anymore. It's a bit sad.
Don't you?
No.
Yeah, okay. I didn't
Go with
realise
you.
Dropped a bit.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
well,
Yeah. Yeah, we had a nice dinner.
yeah. But, like, I don't do that often.
And
Unless
after
someone
dinner ice
really-
cream.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. People don't need to hear the full menu, but it was really delicious, to be honest. We'll put it in the show notes. I don't know. Billy, stick on thing here.
Yeah, sorry. It was just very nice, mate. It was just so nice to go out and have a meal with you.
It was.
So, yes, I'm the same, mate. I don't. It's really funny. I was at a skate park the other day with Evie and Charlie, and I was like, oh, man, this used to be my plaything. Like, I would go and skate, you know, and I snowboard less than once a year. And, yeah, everything else I'm doing is purpose-driven, not process-driven. So, you know...
I've surfed in Victoria, in the state I live in, once in 4 years.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I got
I didn't realise.
surfboards gathering dust
Yeah.
under my house. Anyway, just what I did.
Early days memory of the friendship, me lying on the mattress in the back of your van watching you surf. Sorry, it's the last time I'll,
really great.
I'll do something.
I think if someone looked at the show notes, that'd be mentioned about 8 times. Hey,
So yeah, let's get into it because there's some phenomenal stuff that's coming. So I think you're the first reflection.
sure am. Hi, Billy and Nick. Just thought I'd drop you a line to say I really loved what you said about boredom being a good thing. We are a bit low. We are a bit of a low-tech household for kids anyway. So there's no iPads and things, and we live rurally, so there's lots of time to be bored on car trips. My girls, 8, 6 and 4, have mastered the skill of boredom play. They can entertain themselves almost anywhere, with a few guidelines, e.g. you can't run around or you aren't allowed out of your seats. They rarely complain of being bored. Getting car regos sorted is one of the examples where the waiting room chairs turn into spaceships and hurtling through space. Their epic imaginary games take them everywhere, and they often find themselves in sticky situations, mostly imaginary, that they have to find a way out of. Doesn't mean they don't have blow-ups and wobbles, but I take your advice from a previous episode and keep my ears open so I can step in and guide them through the hard things. Sometimes at the right time, often too late. Yeah, tell me about it. I just thought I'd also say that I've been listening for about a year now and have literally changed so much about my parenting and my life. It's made me realise that my upbringing wasn't normal, and with your guidance and hints, I've been able to change how I parent to ensure that the cycle ends with me. Thanks for the guidance in areas where my own experiences and skills were lacking.
Beautiful. All right, my one. Hello, Dr. Nick, Dr. Billy, and all the GGM team. Just wanted to touch on how you've introduced some play into our family. Our 5-year-old son has been diagnosed as giggle incontinence. This is a real thing, so you probably just haven't heard of it, but yeah, they have giggle incontinence where when they laugh, they wet themselves.
Right.
Which is basically an involuntary release of urine when laughing, giggling. That's probably a better description. He basically wets himself when he laughs too hard. God, this is such a beautiful reflection. It's a condition that most grow out of with time, so while it's inconvenient, we're not hugely concerned. The little guy is super ticklish like myself, so we had to handle him with care. We spent a while trying to prevent these accidents, being careful not to make him laugh too much. Soon enough, we realised that this method seemed a little sad and we wanted our little man to really experience uncontrollable fits of laughter. The wife suggested we just lean into it. So we bought some pull-up nappies and he and I invented a game we call Tickle Mania. Tickle Mania involves him putting on a nappy or his special undies and the two of us roll around the bed or couch tickling each other. He absolutely loves it. We both do, actually. These days, I'll be in the middle of some paperwork or chores and he'll jump out in the lounge room in his special undies yelling, "Dad, Tickle Mania!" It's beautiful to hear him laugh uncontrollably. A few months into our game and midway through a Tickle Mania session, he pauses, he's laughing and says, "One day I'm going to do this with my kid." Oh. Really brought a tear to the eye. I've never felt so connected to my son and the life ahead of him. As always, thanks for the awesome work, team. You've really changed the course of my parenting journey for the better, and I'll be forever grateful. Beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when that came through, I was like, oh, gosh.
Oh, that one gets you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some of the other things. Apologies. I've lost my spot, Billy. Here I am, finding my spot. Sorry, guys. No. We straight into shorts.
I can hear, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, we're straight into shorts.
The order.
No, you're right. Sorry, straight into shorts. I usually there's two. Sorry, apologies. I was sort of like scrambling. Hey, Billy, going on the shorts now. Love the first short question. Define play.
Yeah, exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark. Stop
That one
saying it,
caught my
boys.
eye
Tell us what it is.
Of the thousands that came through. So play. Play is essentially voluntary. It's safe. It's enjoyable. It's flexible. Ideally, it's child-led. And it's process, not goal-orientated. So that's why I like...
Hang on, what's that?
So you're in the process of it. It's almost similar to, I think we talked about this maybe in Groundhog Day, breaking cycles, like flow states.
Right.
It's about, I'm enjoying the process of this. I'm not trying to get something done.
Right.
So I ran Melfi before this. I'm just trying to get it done.
Yeah.
It's not a playful thing.
No.
Whereas, sitting there with a child and, playing with Hot Wheels or Spider-Man or teddy bears, you're not trying to achieve something. And it has to have flex in it. It's not like this is set boundaries of this game.
Oh, I stuffed that up recently. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was having fun playing this soccer thing. I turned it into a penalty shootout, and then everyone got a bit stressed that they weren't winning and stuffed it up. Set up all the teddies to watch the game. It didn't end well. Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I can see why. It started well, good intentions,
but
Dad.
That's one of the bits of play is it's flexible. So
but it's got to be the process.
But then you go, cool, this isn't working, and then...
Oh, yeah, no, we threw in the towel. Anyway.
That's okay. How'd you go?
Well, I was the goalkeeper and I've played between the sticks for many years, but this is pretty sharp. And hadn't really lost a step, to be honest, buddy.
Just not letting little kids get one past you.
I'll let the nutmeg me as well. So.
But I knew I could have stopped it.
It's not the point, Billy.
It's meant to be enjoyable.
The process. It's meant to be the process. Enjoy.
But so that's what play is, and and that is, which we'll talk about. That is different for every single kid, and so going into definitions of it, after for the first time in 4 years, stop. Arguably, there's many times we should have stopped. That didn't make the editing for.
Keep going.
What's the second one? Do you want me to read it?
Hey, Billy. Hey, why does 2 minutes of play feel like 2 hours?
Sorry. In your defense, I sent this to you at midnight. So you're phenomenal at being fresh. So there's a reason, isn't there? Like you've touched on it a little bit. I think you've touched on it a little bit in terms of like some elements, but I think that a lot of us haven't done this for decades.
It's a real gear switch.
Like we talked about how when you hit school, it changes. It's like, this is the 30 minutes you can play for. I talked about the research about like the longer kids get to play, the better they do academically and all that stuff. I actually had a really cool, just because there's not much school stuff here, really cool conversation with a guy who we've spoken about before, John Hendry. And he said this beautiful thing to me. He was like, the most important thing a teacher will ever do happens on the playground.
Go on.
How they engage with, play with, interact with, support, show interest, comfort, regulation of kids is most powerful on the playground. Why is that?
Because it's so wild, and they're like
Yeah.
they're like the safe harbour in the
Yeah, why else?
storm.
Why else? But part
Humanises
of
them.
play. Yeah, but what was one of the rules of play, which is very unfair because
What was one of the rules of play? Oh,
voluntary.
it's got to be voluntary. Yeah.
So the teacher's choosing to go over and interact with that child.
Mm.
But that's more important than anything that happens in a classroom. And what he was talking about, and I adore teachers, most important professionals there are, but often that yard duty is seen as like, I don't want to do yard duty. But probably the biggest impact you'll have on changing kids' lives happens on yard duty. Think about that. Like if you're struggling, you're really socially isolated, getting bullied, you don't know how to start a conversation with mates, you're always needing to win every basketball game, every race, whatever. That's where the teacher can help you. You know, sitting and holding space with kids who are struggling, all that stuff is there because it's so freeform, you know, the playground. So it's just like, and teachers need to be supported to do that. It shouldn't be like, well, you'll never get lunch, you'll never get a break from the class. Like, you'll never get to take a rest and break from the kids because you have to be out there and after every single class in the yard. But just that's probably the most important thing that happens. And I've seen the best teachers I've ever met in 25 years now, I think. I can say I've been doing it for over 25 years, working with families and kids, is the stuff happens on the playground.
Okay.
So anyway, sorry. So yeah, it's hard for a lot of reasons. We're not used to it. It changes very quickly once we hit school. We stop actually just playing. And so we're not good at it, and it's a skill. Do you know what I mean? It's like saying to you, go and, you know, I'm trying to think of a sport that you don't really know. Go and do 10 hours of fencing. You're going to get pretty over it in 10 minutes, probably dominate, sorry.
Watch my parry, Billy. My lunge.
Yeah, but, you know, like it'd just be, so it's this thing you have to work up your ability to do.
Yeah, it's just a muscle you haven't trained for
exactly.
a while. Yeah, I got it. I'm just trying to think like, yeah, no, it's a good point, and they're so programmed to play, and they're doing it all
Yeah,
day.
they seek it so much.
So they're like,
yeah,
old man, figure it out, mate.
yeah, and we have to figure it out. But but we'll go, there's a beautiful long question about this too.
Yeah, maybe we're just not good at it.
Yeah, we're not good at it.
Yeah, got it.
And we're so good at like all of the mundane chores and everything because we just do them. So we kind of lean towards them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're like, no, I'll do the kitchen.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? You do that though, don't you? You're like,
100%.
one of us needs to
Cooking,
one of us
cleaning.
needs to play with them in the bath, and one of us needs to get the dishes done. Yeah. If you're lucky to be in a co-parenting household, and you kind of naturally go to the kitchen, don't you?
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it does. All right, I'm changing it. Sorry, I'm not.
That's okay.
I'm not
no.
bored. I'm tired. There's a difference. I'm not, told you I'd interrupt me. Hey, Billy. How to not be the fun dad when co-parenting, but still prioritising fun and play?
Yeah, I love these things. I thought you might have something good for it.
Um,
How do you balance that? Because you're very good at being the fun dad. But how are you not? Because I think what the question is saying is, you know, if you're conscious of this and you're reflecting, which is beautiful, I'm the one that does all the fun stuff. Mum does all the, or, you know,
you go back
the
to
other
your
parent.
It's,
Yeah, does all of the stuff that sucks. And I'm the one that kicks the soccer ball, has fun with you, you know, play wrestles.
goes to the footy on the weekend.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Oh, I don't know. Like, how do
I
you...
think you do this. You do it in partnership, don't you, with Henry? You think about
Yeah,
like,
but that's probably the partnership's probably really hard if you're co-parenting.
Yeah. Yes. I think this person, there was a lot of co-parenting stuff that came through, but I think this person is more saying like, how do I find the balance between also doing the non-play stuff? Because I think you do this. Like, you're very
What do I
playful,
do?
but you're also the one who's like, I'll do the hard stuff too.
Oh, I'll crack the whip, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a bad thing, but I do.
Well, no, but I know what you mean by that. Is not.
It's like,
you're
no, yeah.
You're not an authoritarian who kind of.
No. I'm not a cool mum, a cool dad either.
I think you are, but I think that I think it's really important.
Oh,
That
you just
play,
set boundaries.
play has a
maybe.
purpose, and it
Yeah.
can't be like, I just want to get out of doing all the other stuff, so I'll play with them. And you can be the fun dad, but also make sure that you're also the person that helps everyone, including yourself, maintain boundaries. When you're parenting with someone else, you support that other parent to not be the person that's always being that person.
Maybe
to make
bring
sure
them
they
into
play.
the play.
Yeah, give them
the opportunity.
Give them opportunities to play. I don't know if I said this on the pod, but Evie was really struggling when Heidi came along. And literally two
Your
things.
youngest new baby.
Yeah, two things. Yeah, sorry, two things. Evie's 4, Heidi was 1 month old. And you know the two things, and the second one's the most powerful. I was like, just you peel off with Evie and do something. And they just went and got a milkshake. And
With
it was
Annalise.
like, with Annalise. So Annalise and Evie went off and got a milkshake. Huge difference. You know, the second one, where she was really struggling for a couple of days straight, and we were all like in the chaos of, the evening.
Newborn.
Yeah, the evening after dinner and all that stuff. And I was like, just go and have a shower with Evie. And they just went and did that together. It was like a 15-minute exercise, and Evie just regulated. It's this interesting thing about how do we help when we're parenting with someone else? How do we help facilitate those opportunities, especially if we're the one that naturally leans into being that person? It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because Evie and Heidi really preference Annalise, whereas Charlie really preferences me. So we've got to make sure that we're supporting the other person with the tougher partnership at the moment.
Yep.
And facilitating play is the best way to do that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Beautiful. Sorry, I didn't know the answer. You did. That was great.
Well, yeah, but I see you do it. It's easy for me to say it.
Do kids repeat their stressful events through play? Do you believe this really is them healing?
Definitely. Such a
So what does
beautiful,
that
it's one of those beautiful short questions you've ever got. So one of the principles of play therapy is that it's this safe space for kids to reenact, scaffold, play out.
Play out
test.
anything traumatic.
Yeah, yeah. And they can be like big traumatic things, but they can be little tough things as well, as like I'm really struggling when mummy has to go to work. And kind of playing that out in play therapy is a beautiful, safe way. When you're regulated, you can get guidance, you can get support. We can observe and hypothesize. Like we can explore it with kids through play because it's easier for them. Instead of obviously we can't do this, including with teenagers. Like we can't sit there and be like, so tell me, Nick, are you really struggling with when I drop you off at daycare and I have to leave? Like you play with it. Oh, this is tough. Teddy's going to have to go over into this group he's never been to before. What could we do to help Teddy? What do you think's happening for Teddy? Gosh, that's hard, isn't it? Like you're exploring it. So it's a really important thing that I think we underutilize. And shout out to all the amazing therapists that send stuff in because they do phenomenal work in this space, including with kids who have been severely traumatized. It's this beautiful way for play to give them an opportunity to understand it and make sense of it, have alternative ways that they can approach it, feel safer in the future about that risk, but also heal because it's this process where someone guides you through it. You have an adult there that you might not have felt like was there at the time, but now you do. And I've even experienced that myself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Billy, I feel like the only way to have fun and feel light is through alcohol, sadly. It's taking the edge off.
God, I related to that. I think it's a cultural thing, isn't it? Like I don't know about you.
Well, it's quick.
Yeah.
I'd say that. Just get to that spot quickly.
Yeah. But even I was thinking about this the other day, music festivals are like my favourite thing to do, and Elise and I met at one. But it's just this really beautiful opportunity to just be yourself, let your hair down. And I think we just don't give ourselves permission enough to do that. But then
It's hard to
alcohol
do
is
it.
like this. Yeah.
It's hard to do it. It's hard to... You can't create an environment like that, I don't think, like a music festival, right?
No, but it's interesting, isn't it? Because what happens at a music festival? Everyone's happy, everyone's enjoying stuff, dancing. And I love dancing. I last time I danced was probably years ago. It's one of my funnest things to do. And, alcohol would make that easier for me to dance because it gets me over this barrier that's in my mind, but I should be able to just dance. I take that back. I dance with the kids all the time. But if I was dancing with other adults, I'd find it really awkward if I hadn't had a couple of drinks, whereas I can dance in the kitchen with my kids almost every day, and it's this beautiful thing. But yeah, I think it's a coping mechanism as well. We've talked about that a lot, but I think that's what's happened to us as adults is it's like, oh, no, you do it at the pub, you be a bit silly. You know, you have a couple of drinks, but trying to think about where there are other places we can do that. And the interesting thing is you often, as we've said, to find play, it often has to be in a safe environment. And I think a lot of us don't feel safe being silly and being playful and being ourselves unless we're in a safe environment with safe relationships. You know, like, well, yeah, our group is a little bit playful, but we just don't do it much, do we? Oh. And we don't go for beers much either. But yeah, so I think it's just a really important thing to recognise that, I don't know about you, but I really struggle with that too. Okay. Trying to set up gentle ways to be a bit better when that's not required.
Yep. Is there solid research to demonstrate the age which play-based learning should continue until?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things in that. Yes, there is definitely solid research. Once again, we're going to need to figure out a way how to share this research, but solid research that when kids have more play in primary school and high school, they benefit academically, socially, emotionally, like, you know, self-esteem, relationships, conflict resolution, all that stuff. There's solid research around that. There's also, I just want to make sure people don't think that play therapy has a sweet spot. We talked about like from 3 to 12 years of age is often where most of the evidence is, but play is really important, as we talked about before birth. But play therapy is effective for older teens and adults as well. So
just evolves a bit.
Yeah, it definitely changes. And I think we've got a question about teens actually, so I'll hold it because there's a beautiful question about teens.
Cool. Billy, I'm ADHD inattentive. I feel like I've always sucked at playing. I struggle to immerse myself fully. Any advice?
Yeah, so I think that we know ADHD or broader neurodivergent people will struggle with this because we're very rigid about what play looks like. And for example, like with the, you know, just playing on your own and hyper-focused on something, we're kind of like, no, you need to play differently. You need to come and play with other kids. Like, you need to be involved in this. And actually going, no, that kid is in that enjoyable, flexible, process-driven, safe, fun experience. How can we be a part of that?
Yeah.
And so, like, what happens with a lot of, for example, I'll talk about ADHD as well, but what happens with a lot of autistic kids that are doing that is we're like, no, you need to come and be a part of this. You need to come and join in this group activity.
Yeah.
But actually, maybe we should be going towards them a bit more and not going towards them like aggressively and saying, I'm going to play with you as well, but just starting with playing next to them and just observing again, but gently seeing if you can be a part of that and shift from like the parallel play to the cooperative play. And it's not an age thing where it's just a process of gradually increasing the capacity of collaborative play by going to where the kid's at, not saying you need to come to where we are, like physically, but
Makes
also
sense.
developmentally.
Yep.
ADHD is interesting because it's the same, like the inattentive type. It's interesting because often those kids, when they're in environments that support them, they actually thrive creatively through play because they just have such a different, beautiful way of thinking about things. And like the inattentive component is really beautiful because you and I will be quite rigid on something, but they might notice something that we didn't even spot because we were blocking it out. That's what our brain does. That we know from MRI studies that people who have ADHD aren't as good at it. They're not as good at like blocking out all the bits of information and just focusing on certain things. But sometimes in the periphery is something really valuable, something really awesome, something really playful. So a lot of it's about how do we just create environments that aren't as rigid on what play should look like.
Yeah.
So it's really important in classrooms, in homes and things like that, and saying, actually, how do we do this?
Flex.
Yeah. And parents, it's the same. You're often spent so long in this rigid idea of what play is that you don't realise, actually, that just doesn't serve me. And I've got to have a different idea of what play is and then just experience that and role model me exploring that for my kids as well.
Yeah. With teenagers, is it too late to learn how to play with them?
No, I think that maybe I got rid of it. But yeah, there was... Oh, it's the next one, is it?
It's that question.
Oh,
Let's
sorry.
go again.
Sorry. Yeah.
No.
Did I go off on a different tangent?
No. I'll ask it more formally. Is it too late to learn how to play with teenagers?
Oh, sorry.
How do I do
Beautiful. Sorry. You were segueing amazingly. And I was like, God, did I go off and complete? Yeah, so no, it's not. It's just that there's a couple of things with teens. So teens, as we talked about back in the previous episode, teenagers are really what they're going through is exploring and then committing to who they are. And so a lot of their play is based around identity exploration. And so a lot of their play is trying out different things.
What do they try to identify as? I'm trying to get my head around that.
So for you would have been going through a bit where you're like really into surfing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm into.
Yep.
Really into cricket, really into this. And you're testing all these things to see how it fits in you and how you see yourself and the relationships that you value and the activities that you choose to do, all of that stuff. And so a lot of the time we go too hard and we're too full on with teens. The other thing is, I'll save it for the long, but with teens, often there's a real reluctance because they're seeking autonomy, and a lot of their play is around autonomy and control, as in, I want to run this, I want to show that I can be independent, I want to show that I do this. And instead of swinging in and being like, I'll show you how to do it, it's important to be like, can you show me how to do it?
Right.
You know, things like that. And like, whether it's they're into D&D or they're into skateboarding or they're into whatever, just really gently trying to learn about it, facilitate it. Like we talked ages ago about this really cool conversation I had with a stepdad where I was like, he's really struggling to connect to teens. And I was like, just drive them places, because it's this beautiful mental health first aid move of like passively being in a space with someone where you're non-confrontational, where you're facilitating the protective relationships in their life, but you're also really gently being a part of it.
All right, being really practical here, and take this question as you will. How do I do it if the kind of things my kids get into eventually as a teen, I'm just not into? Let's just say, I think right now, like, so I hate to say it, but, you know, what if my child's deeply into embroidery?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not really into embroidery. How am I going to learn, or how do I do that? Like, what could I do? I'm unlikely with a parent with a little bit of with little capacity. I'm making up this parent.
Yeah.
I have little capacity. I'm not going to learn about embroidery or sewing or whatever it is.
Yeah, so that's you make a call, totally. But you make a call and you be like, cool, I'm really worried about this relationship and we're not connecting on anything, and she's kind of internalizing and shutting me out and all this stuff. And then you're like, cool, this is something she really enjoys, so I'm going to go and learn a bit about it on my own, or come back in. But it's also okay for the alternative pathway and go, man, I just hate embroidery. Like, it really triggers me. I find it so boring.
Don't know why I picked on embroidery.
No, totally. I think you were just trying to think about something that, typical dad might not be able to relate to. But you can also be like, I want to help this happen, but I can't immerse myself in it completely.
Yeah.
So I'll facilitate it. I'll learn about the relationships that happen there. I'll learn about her friends. I'll facilitate those relationships and all of that stuff. So I think it's something a kid, but I think it's important to recognize that whatever the kid is into, the risk is that we're like, that's silly. I know how to do that better. I'll make sure you're really good at it. And actually stepping back like we do with the younger kids and observing them and going, actually, my kid really likes this. I don't want to take away the joy that they experience, the control, the autonomy, the mastery. I want to actually, once again, be the shadow and help the relationship be fostered within this activity that they're doing. But teens are just really like, the relationship with teens is really important. I think with the younger kids, you can kind of come in and be like, oh, can I play with the farm animals too? But teens are just, especially if there's been years and years of it being like an authoritative parent or, you know, a permissive one or whatever, then coming in and being like, I need to sort out this relationship at the same time as just trying to get in on the play. It's just, that's where I see it go wrong, because often parents have this epiphany when I ask questions in clinic, like, when was the last time you enjoyed this kid? And they're like, years. And it's this really overwhelming experience for them. But then they're like, sweet, tomorrow though, I'm going to play basketball with them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go swimming with them. And the teen's like, you weren't doing this yesterday. So being really gentle with teens is really important.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But play the long game. Like I get to meet kids that have shut everyone out for years, resi care, like all that stuff. And I'm yet to meet someone where I'm like, no, that's too far gone.
Cool. Hey, if you're a first-time listener, this is where we jump into a thing called the longs. So these are long, complex questions sent through from people. So I'm going to kick it off, Billy, with our first long question. How many have we got today? 6? 5. 5. Okay. First one. I love the recent podcast about how to play. This has been something that has been on my mind a lot lately. Here, in my situation, I have a very bright, sensitive 3.5-year-old boy. He is an only child and will likely be our only one. My husband travelled a lot for work, especially the first 2 years of his life. Also, we moved shortly after he was born and have not had too much community. We are slowly building that, which has been good for all of us. All that to say, me and my son have spent a lot of time together, just us, and we have a very close relationship. He tells me all the time I am his favourite person, and we genuinely have a lot of fun playing and doing things together. When he was very young, I read about the benefits of free play and child-led play, so this has helped shape my approach towards playing with him. He plays deeply with a lot of curiosity, is very creative and imaginative. However, when he is around other kids, especially those the same age as him, he is very hesitant to interact with them. He has gone to preschool for 2 mornings a week since he was 2.5 and is much more comfortable being around kids. But when it comes to playing with them, or even sometimes at the same table as them, he will just watch from a distance. I feel like this is very different than from how he plays with things at home. I feel like the fear centre in his brain is on high. When I read about a high sensitive child, it is him to a T. He says that he does not want to play with the toys or around other kids because they might take something from him, throw something, etc. He also says that he just wants to play with mummy because I am his favourite. When we're at home, he will want to play like a kid. He will want me to play like a kid. I feel like this is a good sign because he wants to be able to play with other kids, but in the moment, it is just too overwhelming. Since he is an only child, I have to be very intentional not to step in and help too quickly so that he can build frustration tolerance. Or I will try to play with him in a different way because he is used to taking the lead and playing how he wants to. Sometimes this feels very unnatural as his mum. I know it will help him, but since it's not coming from a peer or sibling, I worry he will feel like his mum is just too busy or doesn't care or is being selfish. I'm finding it hard to find the balance between letting him lead the play creatively, but also helping him realising he can't always play how he wants and needs to play how someone else wants for collaborative play sometimes. Appreciate you guys more than you know. Your podcast has been foundational in my approach to parenting. Wishing you both the best.
It's a beautiful sign because you can see that he's using play to try and figure out how to navigate this space that's too hard for him at the moment. He's saying, "Mum, I want you to be the kid." So he's really aware and he's beautifully testing it in a really safe, flexible environment. I think it's a really good opportunity to talk a bit about play scenarios. So play scenarios are where you will use usually the toys to play out kind of scenarios specifically. And so it's very focused, intentionally looking at the stuff the kid is struggling with. And so, for example, this Hot Wheels car wants to join in on the play that we're doing. How could we bring him in? Spider-Man wants to play a different game. Sally the doll is getting a bit frustrated that she never gets to go first. Or these two action figures are both getting really upset at each other because they're not able to play. And so what you're doing is just putting into the play this scenario and seeing if the kid picks it up, and you give it as an opportunity to, recognize the emotional difficulties, perspective taking. How do we figure this out together?
Beautiful.
How do we go and ask someone else for help? What can we do? And then you start building in pro-social scripts for the kid. So you're like, hey, how about we stop the play and we check and see, is everyone happy? How about we go, okay, if we play your game next, can we please play mine after that? Okay, how about we realise that maybe, Sally just needs to go and sit with someone else for a bit and then come back in and do really well at it.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is, and there's no risk in it because it's like, I'm here, there's no other kids here, and I'm acutely attuned to how you're going emotionally. So I'm going to make sure you don't dysregulate and I get heated. I'm going to just hold you on that stretch, and then we're going to go through it together. And so what they often do is then take those scripts, those strategies, that awareness of other kids into play environments. You know what I mean? And then you think about, cool, how do I now, which you're beautiful at, how do I bring in one kid? Not go, sweet, figure it out in the playground now. How do I bring one kid into your safest environment with your safest relationships around you at home and do just a 30-minute, 60-minute play date where we test out some of these scripts? Let's move, the move we do with Spider-Man. If that comes up, let's make sure that we let Samantha have a turn.
I've got to get better at this, yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Because you're giving, and then you're there. You're like perfectly scaffolding, like, you know, it's, yeah, I think, yeah, I'll wait because it comes up again.
Cool. Hey, Billy and Nick, thank you for your incredible podcast. Newish listener, and I'd be lost without you. The podcast on play was great because it's something I strongly struggle with. For me, I struggle to play as the mental load inside my head takes over during the time. Thinking about all the stuff I need to do and get done, and I find myself never connecting well or in the moment with the kids. Any tips on this? Secondly, I hate play. I'm trying to get better. I play with my kids, and I could play for a good 20 or 30 minutes, then peel away. But I've never had great independent playing kids. As soon as I peel away, they demand me back. Or if I think I've done an excellent job of playing and connecting one day, the following day, they throw a tantrum or meltdown because they instantly want me to play that same thing again from the day before. Sometimes I feel like there's no point starting to play with them when I'm going to shoot myself in the foot knowing they're going to demand the next time we do the same thing. Any tips for these issues? I've also realised I must lack imagination if I struggle to play with kids. One game is playing tigers. My 4-year-old is obsessed with playing as animals, but he always wants to make it physical. Me finding him and eating him. I struggle with this. As a mum, I also don't enjoy wrestling. What are some of the ways I can still follow his lead, but not always have the physical side to it? I know rough play is great for them. I just get lost in how to do it, apart from chasing and eating them. Thank you. You men are amazing. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a crux of a lot of, like, okay, can we specifically answer these ones? Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think?
Hold on.
Which bit do you want to start on?
I want to start from the start. Stuff I've done, finding myself connecting as well at the moment, the kids. Yeah, thinking about all that stuff. Sorry, stuff takes over in my head when I'm trying to play with them.
Yeah, does that happen to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's 5 o'clock, they want me to double bounce them on the trampoline. I'm like,
Tramp's a great one.
dinner is not going to cook itself, mate.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
I get agitated quickly.
Yeah, so what should you do in that scenario?
Go cook dinner. I don't know. Like, just go set a time thing I want. They don't observe times. They don't know what time. They don't even know what 10 minutes is. I describe it. We have a universal standard in our house. It's called a bluey. It's 3 blueys, mate, which is 21 minutes. Everyone knows they go for 7 minutes.
Not sponsors yet. But yeah, it's
So what do you do? I've got stuff to do.
yeah. So what do you do first? Anytime you're struggling.
Take a breath. Get out. Step
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, and be aware of what's going on for you.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay,
you're
but then they
losing
still want it.
capacity.
Yeah, but they're like, they're not giving me they're not going to go, yeah, mate, have 2 minutes. Take a breather.
Yeah, but totally. But you want a role model. I just need a second, whatever, you know. But the trampoline's an interesting one because I think a lot of us, I don't know about you, I have the big barrier bit of like, oh God. But then once I go over that barrier, I enjoy it. I know you do too. I've seen you. Once you're up on the tramp, you're loving it. You're immersed in it. It's heaps of fun. But I think you're like me. You're like, oh God, I wish I could just, no, you guys play. I'll watch you. You know, all of that stuff. So I think there's 2 components. There's the barrier bit and then there's the like, man, if I do this, I'm going to be doing it for half an hour.
That's the thing. So that's the thing, right? If they said, hey, old man, give me a sharp 10, I'd be like, I got you, girls. I'll give you 10 of the best minutes of bounce around this trampoline. You get double bounces everywhere. You'll be falling on yourself. Great. But it's but I also want to set up barriers to be like, you're only getting 10.
No, you can though. You can have boundaries around play. Play, the free form of play is not like, let's just spend the rest of the day. No, you're negotiating and you're putting that up there and being like, sweet. And, you know, and often, you know, the kids that struggle with transitions, like I think we've spoken about before in the context of pathological demand avoidance, making play come out of it as well. So use play for the transition as well. We're going to do this for the jumps. And then we're going to, you know, every step that we take into the kitchen, we're going to name a different fruit. And you can only take a step if you think of a fruit. Like something like, I'm just making that up. But like instead of being like, we're done. Now we're going to go and formally sit there and, you know, and then it's bedtime and then it's, who wants them to play then? because you're like, no, that's not what I want to do. But I think like we talked about before, there's this muscle of play that I think a lot of us are not used to. The other beautiful thing is, just because it's such a specific example, is when it's like he always wants to play, was it tigers or something, and rough play and wrestling, then using that to scaffold different types of play and saying, how about I'll be a baby tiger that you look after? How about we practice our tiger growls? How about we go and draw tigers? How about we set up a tiger enclosure? How about we set up this room so it would be perfect for a tiger? What do you think a tiger needs? Like thinking about how you extend, because kids need to learn how to do that. Because remember, you don't want to be like, oh, you always get to choose. So we talk about child-led play, but we don't always be like, oh yeah, my kid just, whatever they want to play, that's what we play. You can put flex in it, but it's best to put flex where it's like adjacent stuff, not completely different of like, you want to wrestle, I want to play chess. We're going to go play chess. And thinking about that, because then that's them learning actually mum's preference, my brother's preference is something different, but it's still kind of like what I want to do. I'll shift towards that.
Okay.
It's a really important bit of like, it's not about we just spend however many hours doing exactly what the kid wants to do every day. The kind of child-led stuff that we're talking about minutes.
Yeah, okay.
But it is. There's big barriers to this stuff because we don't. And I've found the last couple of episodes I've been really good at being like putting my phone down and being like, actually, I'm just going to be in the space with this kid as much as I can, 100%. And it's just about enjoying them, following their lead and all that stuff. And honestly, mate, I wasn't doing that much especially with Evie. And it's been really transformative without making it too sensational for our relationship, for me just to sit there and enjoy that with her. Like people sent in and were like, you didn't have a Winslow, but you should have because of just how you responded to her with the bit of ribbon and paper. And I thought about it and I was like, you're right. That was a big change for me to just be like, sweet, she's come to me with something. I'm not going to dismiss it and I'm just going to like try really hard, which I fail at most of the time, to forget about all the other things I'm stressed about and that I need to do in this time and just focus on this kid because that's what's going to actually matter. Do you know what I mean? It's more important than the mealtime, dinner getting cooked, like getting the kids into bed on time. I know all those things are really important, but the protective component of our relationships where we're really sensitive and responsive when our kids are coming to us is probably one of the most important things that we'll ever do with them. You know, so yeah, I think we get so caught up in all the other things we need to do that we forget. And I think a lot of people that we meet reflect back and go, I wish that I just played with my kids more.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But not to say that as pressure, just to say it as like trying to shift a little bit so that you drop other stuff to prioritise that.
Yep. You answered all three parts of that question. Well done, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. I didn't need to go back through it. Well done. You're good like that. Number 3, Billy. Hi, guys. Loved the latest episode of the pod. Growing up in an authoritarian household, play is something that feels very foreign. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings and very much embody your stereotypical eldest child. I need structure, order and routine. Enter my 6-year-old who does not value those things quite as much. I'll give you some context. We have a beautiful 6-year-old neurodivergent kiddo. He is gorgeous and funny and so curious about the world around him, but he often finds things incredibly overwhelming. During play, our shy, anxious kiddo becomes the bravest superhero I know. Since learning to embrace play and meeting our boy in the world where he feels safest, that is in his imaginary world, he has gone from refusing to brush his teeth to helping us find the germs, playing the drums on his back molars. He even lets us use toothpaste to destroy their powers. Eating only chicken nuggets every night to running our evening cafe at home, he now happily sits down to pesto pasta or steak and veg, as long as he's the chef trying his own delicacies. Hiding at the sound of the bath to running his own hairdressing salon and allowing us, his staff, to wash his hair. We are so proud of him and our home is completely different to what it was a couple of years ago. The challenge we have is getting our boy out of his imaginary world. I love the connection that play gives him, but I also find it exhausting after a long day of work as a mental health nurse. He's incredibly rigid and has to always be the one in charge. If we don't follow his script, he becomes agitated and distressed. We try to follow his lead, but also how much leeway should we give him? I don't want to go back to those days with his power struggles with him, but I can't seem to get him to the things we need to do without being an apprentice hairdresser, a sous chef, or a superhero sidekick. Is this a problem? Is there such a thing as too much play? How do we encourage particularly divergent kids to come back to reality when we love their imaginary play so much? Thanks for all the work. Can't wait for the Sydney workshop.
What do you think? How do you know if that's a problem or not?
If the reliance or like rigidity of it all impacts his other social relationships, something like that.
Yeah, bang.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the family functioning.
The family functioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, that parent's doing well.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? That was why I was like, there's such cool transition of like using play to kind of succeed at some of the barriers, because it's like, yeah, it's almost, you know.
Like the picture painted, the practical picture painted as well. Like all the things they were struggling with to now all the things they're not.
Yeah.
Well, that's unreal.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, how do you transition a kid who's like, no, everything needs to have this process and this play into like, actually, we've got to get in the car and we can't play this like elaborate, long-winded game where you're the pilot of a plane and, you know, you're going to seat us all and all that stuff. How do you do that?
Can you promise to do it half the time? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good negotiation thing. I think that's fine.
Oh, you negotiate it with them?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, how can we get around this?
Yeah, negotiate it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's important. I think that thinking about play as opportunities to stretch as well, because, and instead of, I think, so play has this beautiful way of like it's not an avoidance strategy, it's a bridge. So play can be like, this is the bit we're struggling with and we get dysregulated. This is where we want to be with it. How can play give us an opportunity to get better at this? Because it's most likely the kid will be enjoying it, immersed in it, regulated, connected, and taking it away from the goal of like, you need to listen to me, to we need to learn how to think about other people. You know, we need to learn what works when we get emotionally dysregulated. We need to learn how does it feel when we're starting to get angry? What are the things that work when we start to get angry? So you're actually addressing the underneath problem, not thinking, I just need you to get in the car, mate. Does that make sense? So it's not I think we go too hard at the specific thing in front of us and not think about what's going on underneath, that this kid, if it is a problem, is lacking the independent ability to do without me. You know what I mean? And thinking about, sweet, this is an emotional regulation problem. He's just got a low frustration tolerance. So as we remember, frustration tolerance is built through emotional regulation and skill acquisition. So he gets really frustrated when he's not in charge. I need to help him learn how to emotionally regulate. We'll do that through play. I also need to learn how he can get better at letting other people go first. So you've got two components to the specific thing that they're struggling with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so just back on the one around emotional regulation through play, is that more where you use like the other toys?
You can use other toys. Yeah. Yeah. You can also be like, are there things at play that make us feel calm when we get stressed?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of kids will find like sensory components are really helpful. So repetitive behaviors in play, like often we think about, I remember there was a beautiful one where like an educator, I think it was talking about how like, you know, they were realizing maybe they were neurodivergent and they were like, I find it really beautiful that I get to play now with little kids who just do repetitive behaviors of sending a car down, a Hot Wheels car, down a ramp over and over again. And people used to look at that and be like, you've been doing this for 40 minutes, mate. You need to change it up. And actually, two things. They might be in this beautiful play process, but they also might be regulating. And so thinking about how play can be not just an opportunity for the scenario stuff that we talked about, as like Teddy seems to be getting frustrated, how do you think he's feeling? But also be like, actually playing with Teddy helps me regulate.
Yeah, okay, it's just dawning on me. Yeah.
Well, the Teddy thing is interesting, isn't it? Because my Teddy and Evie has Antonio now, and it was a really cool thing. My mum, like, I just had a teddy I was in maybe even high school, and the teddy bear was still in my bed. And I'm like, that's so cool that like And I think there's lots of people where we're like, no, you're too old for this now, mate. But actually, because of the play, the association I had with that item, it was probably this really soothing thing for me.
My kid wants to like, it's kind of like, I reckon they're like crafting in bed sort of stuff. Like them could be regulating. I always go, oh, they're just trying not to go to sleep. What?
Totally.
Just trying to avoid going to bed, mate.
Yeah.
Get into bed.
Yeah.
Come on, lights off. They're sitting there crafting. But they're probably just trying to regulate, are they?
Well, yeah. And, mate, it's fine. Firstly, it's fine to be like, guys, it's bedtime. You're holding a boundary. But it's also good to be like, I wonder what's going on here. And, yeah, cool.
I'm not usually too inquisitive that I'm curious that time of night. But I take your point. Oh, the whole routine I just spent. The deals, the promises. None of you are
underneath this.
I wonder what's underneath this. Oh. I'm glad we laugh at it. That's the reality. I'm like, oh, I haven't been patient or clear enough with you, clearly. Apologies. You know what I mean? I'm like,
girls, I'm getting to that point.
oh, don't. They've heard that 4 dozen times. Girls, I feel like deals have been made.
Totally. But you can also, you know, after we talked about, which we always talk about, regulate yourself first, but you can talk about how stressed you're getting. But if you think they're emotionally regulating, it's not, okay, sweet, you can just spend an hour crafting in bed. It's like, cool, we need to put, you know, some boundaries around this. But also, like, it's a lot of the time, so example, the better one that you and I are both going to face is like the phone in the bed.
Oh, okay.
You know, the kid sitting with the phone in the bed and thinking first about why. This kid's spending, the amount of kids I see in clinic that spend 2-3 hours playing on a phone in bed, and I always want to know why before I'm like, this is how to fix it.
Why do they typically do it?
Lots of different reasons. Some
Give
of
me a
them
couple.
are regulating.
Regulating. Let's read a book.
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah, geez, mate, can you do that? You actually are reading a book at the moment, to be fair to you.
I know, I drop off so quick. It's amazing.
Yeah, but I go to my phone, you know, because I'm distressed. It's dissociating for me.
Totally.
It's gives my brain a rest from all the
But
other
it's
things.
not
that
really
I've been
giving
doing.
it. Yeah, I know. But
But thinking about first, why is the kid doing it, I think is a really important step. So why is the kid doing it? Address that need.
Yep.
But yeah, I hope I answered that because it just
I think
went on a
there's
funny
bit going on
tangent.
there. You know, I challenged a couple of things there. Hey, Billy, 4th out of 5 questions. Thank you for the episode on play. It helped me realise play is actually one of my strengths as a parent. One of the keys for me was letting go of self-consciousness when engaging in play. After all, it's not about you as the parent. I have an amazing 4.5-year-old boy who is currently going through the assessment process for autism and ADHD. Along with many other aspects of life, he struggles with frustration and being gentle with his little sister, 18 months old, who he loves to pieces. For example, if he has set up a world like a zoo in the living room, she will come and pick up or knock over part of it. He will explode and scream in her face, push her, etc. We often keep them totally separate to tell him to set up his games in his room with the door closed for this reason. This kind of works, but I would prefer not to do this all the time. He hates demands and being told what to do, even in a reflective conversation after an incident. I've thought before that play therapy would probably work very well for him. He loves playing, although this often involves a lot more setting up and arranging the toys than actual playing the game, as it is common in autistic children. Do you have any play therapy techniques I could try out with him to improve his tolerance of his little sister? Could you please also explain the concept of play therapy more generally for anxious and ND kids? Love your work.
Great. Before I get to that, just in case the mic picked up a bit of digestion sounds, I was one of the tech guys. We won't name them. They just came in. Because you beautifully moved through it. But yes, how sensitive are these microphones? But so it's interesting. So play therapy, think about it as this symbolic opportunity to go through a process that you're struggling with. You talked about it from a trauma perspective, but the opportunity and emotional frustration is a really important one.
School drop off.
Yeah, beautiful. So how could you do that? Like so say Evie's really struggling with drop-offs.
Yep.
How do I explore that in play therapy?
Mm.
So what I could do is I could just go, let's play where we're getting ready for school. We get a couple of characters. This place will be home. Here's the car. There's school. And just see what happens. Not be like, and Teddy's going to really struggle with when we drop him off.
Mm.
But just play it out. How's Teddy feeling? What makes it good for Teddy in the morning? What can we do? What's the helpful stuff? What's the tough stuff? What's the stuff that's difficult? How do you reckon Teddy's feeling getting in the car? Like, what's going on? Then what happens in the car? And then what happens when we get there? What might be going on? What do you think Teddy's feeling? What makes it tough when we have to do this bit? Yeah, okay. Gosh, that must be difficult. Think there's anything we could do to help Teddy with this? What about when we're gone? What happens for Teddy? Like, how do you think Teddy's feeling? What can Teddy do in this environment? And just exploring it. And kids are like, we really underplay how good they are at problem solving.
Mm.
Like, I think a lot of the time we want to be like, we'll fix it. This is what Teddy should do. Teddy should go and find a teacher and say, I feel scared. And, no. Like, we want kids to be able to explore what their own problem solving is, including if they're like, shut it down, just ignore it. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Do you think that might make Teddy feel worse? No. Then you go, okay. And then you just bring an alternative in. You'd be like, okay, the giraffe's coming in now. And giraffe's really scared. And giraffe was, has been trying for ages, even a kinder, to just shut it down, but it's not working. So giraffe is like really asking for help about what else they can do instead of just shutting it out and just being like, it doesn't matter. Because I think giraffe needs something different, and then you're exploring it. Once again, you're not saying, no, giraffe is going to go and tap the teacher on the shoulder and say, I'm struggling. It's a really important way because play therapeutically allows us to run all these scenarios. It allows us to follow the child's lead, but also guide. Like it's, we can guide, we're observers, we're kind of thinking about what is the skill that I'm trying to help this kid with. I think being a bit more intentional in that component of it, not this is how we're going to do that, but thinking about what I'm trying to support here is confidence on drop-offs through what we always talk about, an awareness, acknowledgement that it's tough.
Mm.
Building up a tolerance of that, which can happen in play. Let's just, what do you reckon if we say to Teddy, can you look after Giraffe for the next 5 minutes because we're going to go and do something and we're going to come back and check you're okay. And then we come back and go, how did you guys go? How'd Giraffe feel? How did Teddy feel? What did they do while we were gone? Because what you're also doing is you're giving the kid an awareness that they're thinking of the giraffe and the teddy, which helps them learn that we're thinking of them.
Oh, good one.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So they're going, cool, okay, wow. We're able to think about what's going on for Teddy even when we're not in the room. Isn't that interesting? We weren't there with them, but we could think about them. And then be like, should we tell Teddy and Giraffe that we were thinking about them and hoping they were okay? And that we couldn't wait to see them when we came back into the room? What that's doing is building out these strategies, but exploring it with them. Not just saying, I'll be thinking about you all day. That's just saying that to the kid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's just going,
I know what you're saying.
Drop off, honey, I'll be thinking about you all day. See ya.
Yeah, I've said it.
So have I. But with play, what we're actually giving them is the ability to understand it. This really complex thing, but through play. So they can be, oh yeah, we were out of the room. We weren't with Teddy and Giraffe, but we were thinking about them the whole time. They were supporting each other and actually weren't good at it at the start. But then they got really good at it because they learnt to say, I need help. They learnt to recognize they were getting stressed and that they were getting angry because they were afraid.
Okay. This play-based stuff's pretty good, the therapy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to do a part 3, but maybe we'll even do it for like a Patreon or something like that, because there's a lot of depth you can go to with the play therapy stuff that just is really, really beautiful. But just thinking about it as what's going on for the kid, how do I set up play scenarios that can target that specific thing?
If we do a Patreon, should we set up 3 scenarios and I can be the kid and we can bring in
We could
the
have the
race
toys.
car, the toys,
Yeah.
and we can ask everyone to vote on the 5 most common pinch points
Oh, yeah.
and get them to upvote them
Yeah,
on
that's
a poll.
a great idea.
And then,
Do you reckon there's enough time between now and the end of the year for Mattel to make a pop culture parenting Hot Wheels car? Would it be a van?
no, I think it'd be the Ferrari-esque sort of thing.
Like the
You
artwork.
and me, the artwork. Like a
I think
life-size one.
yeah. Surely that'll fit 5 car seats.
So it's a 2-seater. It's me and Billy's road wagon.
Henry and Annalise, what's their car look like?
Get them
I
a
reckon we do
family bus.
what would we need for all of us? We'd need 9.
Yeah.
A 9-seater for all of us to
School
do.
bus. Hey, Billy.
Last time.
Last long. Heineken Billy, I'm super new to you guys. Not too new. If you're dropping the Heineken Billy, you've been around for a while, mate. I don't know who this is. Heineken Billy, I'm super new to the podcast. Maybe like 2 weeks. My sister recommended your show, citing that it could be useful to guide some of the work I'm doing. I started at Beautiful Boys to conflict resolution, supporting neurodiversity, and then your recent episode on play. I'll be working through the back catalogue for a while. Full disclosure, I'm not a parent and at the moment not sure I want to be, but I work in the therapeutic space for a company that provides school holiday camps, respite opportunities for kids who traditionally aren't welcome in these settings. Read naughty or difficult or bad, as well as sometimes young people with autism, many of whom are living in foster, kinship or residential care. Our camp, Camp Kia, is based in child-led play therapy theory, with many staff from across the state and a range of backgrounds and a number of social workers, youth workers, play and art therapists. Recently, we've had our school holiday program run and we have seen a big increase in behaviours of concern, mainly around preteen boys with some real similarities to some of the concerns that teachers around the state have been sending in. Our difficulty in engaging these boys in our program, where most of the play is free, and only a small amount of time, we ask that the kids engage in planned activities. My question is around engaging the preteens in any way when their immediate reaction is to say it's boring or effing shit. Specifically, it seems that they are unable to let down their guard and engage with toys, pretend play, and then have trouble also engaging with anything with too many instructions. It seems as if these 10 to 12-year-old boys have skipped those developmental milestones and moved into being teenagers who are too cool to do more playful activities. But how does this then impact them moving into adolescence and adulthood? And have you got any ideas or suggestions? Thanks for all that you guys have been doing. Keep it up. Whew.
Great question.
Great
isn't it?
question.
Last one, yeah.
Out of my wheelhouse, right in your wheelhouse for teen stuff.
Well, this is my
How
wheelhouse.
do you do it? This is your.
I used to. No, totally. No, obviously I don't have
family
teens, but
wheelhouse.
Yeah. But I cut my teeth with these kids because
Yeah.
the same outside of school hours before and after school holiday program that I went to and hated the place all through my childhood. First kid dropped off, last kid picked up kind of thing. I worked there for 6 years and there were 4 programs, and for the last at least 2 of them I ran the 4th one, which was like the last chance one. For people that were in the state, it was in Seaford. And so I used to run it at Seaford Primary School, 60 kids. And a lot of them were the ones that had like played up too much at the other 3 programs. So they'd get sent to that one. And they, these kids were all there. Like it was all these late teens that were just too cool. And even in the book, I hate plugging that because people have to pay for it.
It's fine to plug the book, mate, if it's good.
But, well, yeah.
Well, not the whole. If you got a good example.
I've got to read it.
I've read it twice.
It's on the bureau. Once I get off the phone. Or is that the book that you drop off straight away?
Absolutely.
Get a couple of sentences in and I'm asleep.
Anyway, which chapter?
So there's a kid in the book who was this beautiful example of like a kid this age that was really annoying me just getting into fights, calling me all these names, like, and I was 22, 21, and I was just battling him. And it was really beautiful because it's a cool trick that I did. And I was mainly just trying to get him out of my hair, but I got him to run an obstacle course, and it's a beautiful story in the book that I won't take.
It is.
Yeah. And so that kid was a really cool example of like, he wanted to feel in control and older and powerful, and it was this great way to give him that, but in a really pro-social way, because then what happened was amazing. He became this beautiful leader and insightful and thoughtful and all those things. So he went from getting into fights the whole time, literally physically with all the other kids his age and all that stuff, to I'm going to give you a role instead of like, come and play colouring in, you know.
It's actually a cracking yarn that you put out there, and I reckon people, if they can't access the book, if you're listening I know I've got Spotify.
Yeah, I think
you can go over and
Spotify.
listen to the specific chapter, which is chapter, I don't know, it's a later one, maybe 8 or 9 or 10. Anyway,
Bad Kids, I reckon, maybe.
Bad Kids one.
Yeah.
It's a ripper, and the kid really shows you some cool stuff.
Oh yeah, he's like
Yeah, he
top
just-
20 kids that's taught me something over the last 25 years. So
It's
Yeah.
well worth listening to.
yeah, another really cool thing is like really, so what we used to do with these kids as well is you just set up stuff. So you don't be like, and then you start playing it, like your idea of soccer and the goals. You just set up a couple of goals and put someone in as the goalie, and then you just start taking shots at them. And often they'll migrate over. And then you kind of just leave it and make it and set it up there.
Go over to the next
So
one.
yeah, instead of being like, come on, we're coming and playing this, and like, I'm too cool to play this. So we used to do it a lot. One that's a funny story that I didn't do, one of my colleagues did, is that, and this is just, he had his own trauma and like hadn't had any training in this space. But I've told this at an educators conference once, and I got a good chuckle out of it. Huge sandpit, like 4 times the size of any sandpit you've ever seen. And a lot of these boys would be getting up into mischief. And so he used to get a $50 note. So he'd get a $50 note and he'd make this handful of boys go inside. And he'd be like, you can't look. And he'd say, I'm going to bury it in the sandpit, and whoever finds it can have it. And these guys would be like sifting through every grain of sand, trying to find it.
They'd set up those like water runways to sift the sand. The engineers, actually 4 of them are engineers now. It's incredible.
Trying to find this $50 note that he never put in there.
Never put in there. Oh, did he slip a 5 or a couple of 2s?
No. They used to love him because I was never there with him. He was like the secondary manager, but he used to like, he used to buy them like fish and chips on Fridays and all this stuff. And all the parents were like, I don't want my kids eating. So they'd love him. They adored him because he was like, so interestingly, what this person says, he'd had all this trauma through his life, and he'd missed all this play stuff. So he was like quite young himself. So he connected really well to these 11 and 12-year-olds because a lot of his trauma had happened around then. And so he was, he was funny though. There's some stories that I can't tell now. But
I'm just laughing. I'm just like, kids start getting on top of it. I buried $5 in the front yard. Go find it.
yeah, totally. So thinking about like how can we make it a bit easier for the cool kids that are trying to be older.
Give them some autonomy.
To engage in play.
Is it autonomy?
Yeah, autonomy, helping other kids play. You're going to be the one because you guys are so old. Can you sort out these little kids and teach them, how to do basketball? Like, what can we do with them? Like that stuff. And it's a beautiful shift that you can make from, because always the golden rules of what I do in clinic and what we train all the fellows in and stuff is a lot of the kids that are doing things that we don't want them to be doing, it's about, we're not trying to stop that. What do we want them doing instead?
Yes.
So whenever a kid in your home, in your school, is doing something that you're like, I wish he wasn't doing this, I wish he wasn't doing that, what do we want them doing instead? And aim for that. Make it something that they can achieve in a couple of days, reinforce it, you must feel so good about that, find that pattern. That's how you push the bad stuff out.
Billy, we're on to tips.
Yeah, tips. I think there's three that we've got to read, so I can't remember. Did I have you going first?
I'm first. Oh, I'm just literally lost my spot. Oh, no, back. Hey. So these are the tips. People send us tips. Billy's the expert. I've got a little bit of experience, but sometimes the stuff that people contribute is gold. So we love giving it some airtime, and oftentimes it's practical and epic. So here we go. Thanks for the recent podcast, boys. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm a dad of 2 boys, a 2.5-year-old and a newborn. Play has been something I've really tried to embrace and tap into my own childhood. It has been a great reflective exercise and helps me escape my own day-to-day adult duties. Well, I said adult duties, I don't know if it's dad. Anyway, something I've struggled with and sometimes still catch myself doing is trying to replace fun with more fun. Example, my son might be very happy playing with a stick in a muddy puddle or putting rocks into a container in the backyard. Sometimes I'm guilty of trying to suggest a new activity or get them involved in something I've set up, like craft or time in the sandpit. He's already really content and happy exploring and navigating the world with independent play, so I have to remind myself to not replace fun with more fun. Not sure that all makes sense, but anyway, I love being a dad and it's the most important thing I do every day. Thanks again for the work and support and give to so many of us out there. Lots of love. You're doing great. That makes sense.
Totally.
I'll make this better. No, it's better.
Yeah.
And then...
And then you take over. Yeah, even a friend the other day was talking about like protecting some intricate magnet tile castle he'd made from his kids. It's like, it started as doing something with the,
Oh my God.
He was like, don't knock it over.
Duplo. That's me and Duplo.
Yeah.
Building towers. I'm like, oh, the tower's pretty stable. It's pretty stable.
Yeah.
It's pretty stable.
But yeah, which is fine, but it's just interesting about that. Also, I love just lots of love. That's such a cool
That's
way
very
of
nice.
Dad to close it out. I had one of my mates, actually, he does all the Photoshops for us, the other day. He was like, love you, brother. And I was like, isn't that cool that he just says that and
It's
feels
very
comfortable
nice.
saying it? All right. Hey, Nick and Billy. I'm an OT who adores working with children and their families. A lot of my role is working with parents to find joy and connection with their child through play. Every day I send parents to your pod as a very accessible way to access incredibly important information. You can imagine my excitement when I saw that your latest episode is all about play. It'd be so wonderful if during reflections you could mention the importance of silence during play. So many parents try to be curious in play and end up accidentally interrogating their child with emotion, with endless questions, which builds demand and anxiety, making play no longer fun. I think this is really important to mention on the pod. Curiosity can be in the form of getting on the kids' level, narrating their play, responding with animated facial expressions to their actions, and even imitating their play. I hope this all makes sense. I hope that by you mentioning on the pod means at least one less kiddo stuck on a wait list waiting for this info. Could not express my gratitude for this project enough. It's truly inspiring.
Yeah.
So yeah, beautiful like that. Yeah, it's an important thing to just be holding the space.
Holding the space, you call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and just engage. You don't have to be talking to them to be engaging with them. So I didn't say that last time. We talked a lot about mirroring and copying, and that stuff is really powerful to be doing that. And you just test it. I don't know if we talked about it that much. Just test doing what they're doing and watch kids light up across the ages, where you're not even saying, "Hey, I'm going to copy what you're doing." Just do it, and watch them go. Wow, my dad or my mum is trying to do what I'm doing by copying me. It's a really beautiful thing.
Might jump on the monkey bars school today.
Oh, have you tried
Before
to
the
do
kids
monkey
come
bars
out.
lately?
Yeah, it's not possible.
Yeah, it might be. I'm doing high rocks at the end of the year. Hopefully there's no monkey bars in that. But imagine if we had to do Ninja Warrior. I wouldn't get past that.
Have you... I can do all the run across the thing bits.
Can you?
Tried to... Like the run. I suspect I could. I'm not going to have to prove it, so I'll go with that. But yeah, monkey bars, chin up, pull up.
I did chin ups and pull ups. I couldn't go across monkey bars in my life to bet on.
No, hurts my hands. I got those. So many things aging. Hey, Billy, last one here. Last tip. Oh, dear Professor Nick. Dr. Billy. Very good. Thank you for another fantastic episode. I really love listening to you link the topic of play and the sound of music, as I'm sure many of us wish we had our own Julie Andrews as kids to make hard moments that little bit lighter. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for always being the voices in my head when I need it. Yesterday, I had to take my car to the garage and this seemed to occupy my 3.5-year-old son's thoughts. All morning he kept asking about, where's Mama's car? Why is it at the garage? What's going to happen? Etc. Etc. He even got quite upset at one point, and it occurred to me that what are boring, mundane tasks to me are huge new experiences for him. So I decided to tune into play. I went basic at first, acting out what would happen with a toy car and toy people to Mama and the mechanic. We did this a few times at my son's request. Then he started bringing other vehicles to the mechanic, diggers, tractors, planes. Everyone had to be checked over. And then, to keep myself entertained as much as anything, and because I'd used up all my engine knowledge, I started making up silly words that the mechanic had to fix. So we had the bloop to bloop and the fling flang and the flash hyping. This made my son giggle away, and soon he joined in with silly words and noises of his own until we were both fully laughing. We ended up playing this game for almost an hour, and it was genuinely the highlight of my day. It was definitely a lot more satisfying than answering the same request on repeat. Yes. I know I won't always have the energy or time for something like this, but I'm so pleased that I chose to lean in when I could. And now we have our own silly mechanic language that I have dipped into a few times since, which always makes me laugh. So thank you, gents, for always helping me find a moment of joy and connection that improve the day for both me and my son. You're helping multiple generations in one go.
Yeah, amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, so thank you to everyone who sent in. There were so many questions. I just wanted to say a shout out as well. There's stuff that comes in that I probably don't acknowledge enough that just is really affirming of what we're doing.
It's nice.
Yeah, just for that purpose. It's this really amazing thing that people like tell the story and how much the pod's helped, and like, yeah, and it just means a lot to me, particularly because of how much I like struggle with the concept of it, and like, you know, whether I'm actually helping and all that stuff, and then feeling selfish about it because a lot of it's about just healing for me. So yeah, thank you, because there's only a small fraction. Like, we just get, thousands and thousands of people like do stuff on the polls and send in shorts and all that stuff, and then we get hundreds and hundreds of questions all along. So it's really amazing, and it's really cool to see GGM getting shouted out as well. So thank you, because they're obviously doing a lot of work in the background. So very quickly, movie clue.
Oh,
I think I've got it. I've got to find a scene, but this will put some pressure on me to make this movie work. So one of our most recent, so in the last 10 to 15 years, and emotionally, I can't remember if I mentioned it a while ago that it really destroyed me. I just sat there and sobbed. And as a parent, that is a big risk that this phenomenal movie will do that to you. And that's all I'm going to give you.
yeah. It's one of those Kevin Hart rock ones, isn't it? No.
Pains and gains.
That's really good. I was trying to think of the name. What was the one they did, the CIA agent? I was like, got me too.
Yeah. So there's all this exciting stuff coming next year. Also, we've opened up calendars. So if you're keen to do stuff, reach out, because we're booking stuff and it's going to happen quickly. There's still a few spots for the workshop. If you're schools, orgs, reach out to us like we're doing stuff. I always forget to say that.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoy the episode, and we'll speak to you soon.
Hey, don't let your mother smell that beer on your breath. She'll take it out on me.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life. And I don't want to see anybody else either.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Just use your best judgment. We trust you.